What's up, everybody? It's ImmaLetYouFinish with your hosts, Court and Amy. It is show number 140. We're on the Pantheon Podcast Network. Thank you for listening to us there. If you're listening to us on their main page for the first time, welcome. If you're one of our listeners who've been with us for 140 shows, welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about a lot of things, like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2023 inductees have just been announced. And, you know, we've had a Met Gala, we've had a Knicks win, we've had a lot of things. But let's kick it off with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What do you think?
I'm very happy. I'm very happy it's seven inductees this year because it was such a great list. It really is. I mean, you cannot find anything to not love about this list. There's enough for everybody. So let's just go. You want to go down the list of the people?
Yeah, read it out.
Mm-hmm. A lot of first time nominees getting in, which is kind of fun that it's like they get the momentum. I like that. All right, so actually getting in they're all getting in, but in the performer category, there's several categories. Kate Bush, right? We've discussed this.
Absolutely deserved.
Absolutely four-time nominee. Thank you. She must be thanking Stranger Things, right?
Hey, she's gonna send Netflix
except that the Writers Guild is pissed at Netflix right now, so she'll wait.
An English countryside basket,
really, with some lemon curd, whatever the hell they eat, and some of those digestive biscuits that you and I haven't gotten to digest.
I love those digestive biscuits.
I love them so much.
I was like, why do I love shit biscuits? I don't know.
They are shit biscuits.
They are shit biscuits, but I love them.
I love them. I think if you just eat them.
And here's the crazy part. Not every brand that makes them. Only one kind. The ones that they have at Lidl. I don't shop at Lidl, but I go to Lidl for the fucking digestive biscuits.
Well, I mean, if you get them in England, like the McVitie's, but the flight to England is so expensive. No, I love them too. I do like a hobnob too, but that's a whole other conversation. Sheryl Crow, I'm not the hugest fan, but deserving.
Completely
deserving. Missy, first woman hip hop artist. First-time nominee.
Deserving.
I think Cheryl's a first-time nominee, too.
She is, absolutely.
And I'm very happy to see more women in. It's no secret that the Hall of Fame needs more women, and I'm very glad. George Michael, great.
Absolutely deserved.
It also a sign that, the fans matter.
Absolutely.
Great. Won the fan vote. It's always nice to see. I mean, anybody. I actually have a friend of color who said, "Oh, why are they going to put George Michael in? He only had one album." I said, "I am now revoking your Black Pass. You will give it back to me, and I will hand it to a more deserving person. Because are you kidding me with this?"
But see, that is why I for a lot of when he was first nominated, I love George Michael. I was like, I wonder if people are going to get the breadth of his career. So keep going down the list.
All right, Willie Nelson. I mean, come on, legend.
Absolutely deserved.
Mount Rushmore, right?
The original, one of the original Outlaws,
right? Mm-hmm. Rage Against the Machine. I mean, I think they are also 3 or 4-time nominees.
Yep.
Not my lane, but I've seen them perform. They're great live, and they just did a big tour, and good for them. And this is the one I'm really honestly not shocked in a bad way, but just so thrilled because I think they represent something that sometimes gets overlooked, which is sort of mainstream Black pop, and the Spinners. So happy about that.
So happy. So let's break it down and talk about it.
All right. Kate Bush, yay.
Yay.
I mean, listen, I love George Michael. There's no one on this list who does. I'm very happy. I didn't think he was going to get in this time, but
let me just tell you something. I've got to see George Michael live in concert, which I'm very, very happy to say I did because I love George Michael.
At the Garden?
At the Garden. And let me just tell you something. That motherfucker sang his face off.
No, okay? I've heard, yeah.
I mean, you will gag how much like the way, listen, and people are going to be like, the way you would go to see a Luther Vandross concert and you know he was going to sing his fucking face off.
Yep.
I was gagged at how, I mean, and he sounded like his fucking he was just incredible.
Yeah, I heard he was like a prestige live artist.
I thought because of all of the shit in America, and we stopped playing his records for a whole period of time.
When did we stop playing George Michael's records? Why?
After that whole situation. Okay.
That was 25 years ago.
Yes, and then America stopped playing his fucking records on the radio. His next few records did not have the massive hits. He continued having hits all the way damn near to
not because of that.
No, yes, it was. Hold on, no,
Amy.
No. This is where I'm going to have to school you a little bit. Like, absolutely. For when that first happened, you have to remember the time we are talking about. People weren't just coming out as gay and being gay. And then that brought up things like cruising. And that was stuff that the general public had never been discussed. And for a while, radio stopped playing his records. And which is why he stopped coming to the U.S. and did not tour here for over a decade.
All right, let's go through the list, though. And I mean, I at that point, I thought that, Willie Nelson.
Mm-hmm. Great.
He's great, right? I mean, Willie Nelson, that's kind of, it's almost like he's so legendary he doesn't need it.
But it's great to get it. He's 90 years old, and it's like, you've had a career, and he still
I didn't mean to cut you off about George Michael. I just wanted to go through the list.
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine, which, look, I am not a fan of Rage Against the Machine, but I understand, and from what I have seen them live, they're fantastic live. They just did a huge tour last summer, and everyone I know who saw it was like, humana. They were unbelievable. Mm-hmm. So, understandable, very influential. And this is like their third nomination. And here's the one, Courtney, this is the one where I am stunned in the best way. The Spinners. I am so happy.
I had to look at that twice. I'm like,
me too.
Work.
Me too. What?
I was just like,
what? Wait,
work.
what? Yeah. So happy.
Before Iron Maiden, I did not think the Spinners would get it.
Cyndi Lauper. I mean, I have to
tell you. Yes, but I told you. I did not. You and I have had the conversation about Cyndi. My favorite Cyndi albums have come later in her career, right? But those albums weren't hits for people. And I think
but you could say the same about George Michael.
Well,
right?
but I think if you really go hit for hit, he had more, and they lasted through the decades.
Well, what I mean? I would say that Cyndi Lauper is as iconic of her time as he is of his time.
We're not saying she's not.
Yeah.
But you and I have had this conversation. Her biggest hits were her first two albums, right?
Same with him.
Well, no, because then he came back. He had Fast Love. And he also had the whole stint with Wham. Like, there's a lot of George Michael
I'm not
hits.
discounting.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Spinners blew my mind. And I got to tell you that when I was voting, and I love the Spinners. When I was voting, I was sort of vacillating between the Spinners and another group who were also very worthy. And I thought, who has brought me more happiness? And I went, the Spinners. I'm thrilled. And I'm thrilled because this is the type of, you can forget this part of rock music and pop music sometimes when you're making up these things. This is beautifully crafted 70s, 80s, black pop, soul. I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled for everybody, but the Spinners, I thought that was the, no pun intended, dark horse for sure. I didn't think they'd make it. All right. The Musical Influence Award, one is going to DJ Kool Herc.
Amazing.
I can hear people complaining about that already in my mind.
Really?
Yeah. If someone go, why not? But good. It's the 50th anniversary of hip hop. He is widely credited for putting the sound on the map. He deserves it. He is a pioneer. He is exactly what the category entails. And Link Wray, essential. Essential. I believe Rumble is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a single, but Link Wray is an essential musician and Native American representation, of which no organization has enough of. So I'm very happy about that. Musical Excellence Award, Shaka, the great Al Cooper, really great move, and Bernie Taupin.
And Don Cornelius.
For the Ahmet Ertegun Award. Yeah. For the Ahmet Ertegun Award. So that's the sort of the industry. And listen, there's
good old shady Don Cornelius.
Well, he's not there to accept it.
Yeah, that's true. But he still has it, and it's great. Listen, Soul Train. What Soul Train is to music culture and to Black culture is, undeniable. Really is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, to everybody. I mean, Soul
I
Train.
still watch clips of Soul Train.
No, Soul Train is great. No, there's nothing. If you want nothing. First off, if you want to see possibly the most sexual thing you'll ever see in your life on television, watch Al Green on Soul Train. It's terrifying. Women are literally having babies in the audience as it happens. And then if you want to see the funniest thing in the world, watch Don Cornelius, bless his heart, having to endure having hip hop on that show because he could not stand rap music. And him up there on the Def Jam recording label run by a bunch of people I don't know and I don't care, dying. But anyway, I'm very happy. I mean, 7 I was surprised it was 7. I'm happy. That just shows how tight it was. And I think it's a great what do you think about it? Oh, it's going to be in November, early November at Barclays. So that'll be fun in the home of hip hop. So, hoping that'll be acknowledged.
I'm surprised.
I'm sure it'll be acknowledged,
I thought everybody on the list was deserving.
Yep.
I thought George Michael didn't have a snowball's chance in hell, so I'm absolutely ecstatic.
Why? Now, why did you think that? Because of the whole hits were early on in the career type of thing?
I think that I just, if this was a lot of international voters, I would have been like, oh my God, yes, he's going to get in. I just didn't know if a lot of these American voters had a reverence for George and his writing and his producing and his music. He had hits all through his life, but for some of it was like cheesy pop, you know what I mean, with frosted hair. I didn't think that the voters would listen. Watching them pass Shaka Khan for all of those years, I just did not think. I thought that they would look at him like a teen idol and not give him the credit of being
the people who vote are people who are musicians and executives and writers and radio people. So they're not. I mean, I see your point, but they're not unaware of who he was and the impact, that he made. And
yeah, we say that, but look, Kate Bush, I feel like the only reason why she's in this year is because it would have been crazy after running up that hill, you know what I mean? I feel like that got her in, and Shaka, so we say that, but we've seen some strange sort of times when we thought this person is clearly going to get in, and then they didn't. Again, Eminem got in before Tribe.
Well, that,
Yeah, but which, again...
I think George Michael is somebody, I would not have been surprised if he didn't get in, but I'm not surprised that he get it because he's somebody who is name checked by so many different artists. He was so omnipresent. It's also making I just don't want Sam Smith getting up there and singing. That's all.
Well, listen, it won't be Sam Smith for George Michael. And
who do you think it would be? Who do you think it would be?
I don't know. I think it's too early to even.
I'm just saying. I just don't want.
I have no idea. No idea. I think that Cindy is deserving. We've talked about Hatful of Stars is it's a gorgeous album. I think to me that is her strongest piece of work. And then her dance album is amazing. Like has her At Last, her country album Detour. Cyndi Lauper has amazing, amazing, amazing work. But I also felt like for some of those voters, I was like, this is going to be a hard push. I don't think they know those later records. I really don't think that they do. And the thing that's crazy is she's omnipresent. She's never gone away. She always performs. We've seen her collaborate with so many people. But for some reason, I was like, we need more women. And when I saw the list of women, I was like, I think that they're going to make other choices before they choose her. And so that's a little disappointing.
There's a documentary coming out about her.
Well, which hopefully will help, right? Because each time...
No, that's always more
something
exposure.
Brings more attention. Yeah. And then you can kind of really see the breadth of somebody's work. I thought Warren Zevon would get in.
I was hoping he would, but... I don't know. I mean, that's now talk about that's somebody you really have to really know the nuts and bolts because I mean, he is not that one song that everybody knows. He is
but so like much you just said, these are executives.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That you have all these choices. I just think I would have loved. Warren Zevon, somebody.
And Iron Maiden still. I'm just kind of
I don't get that. I don't get it. I don't get it. And like I said,
to me, that was the obvious one. I was like, well, Iron Maiden's getting in.
It's not even a noise that I care about. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's not that I don't like them. They just don't even register in my world.
Right.
But I'm like, if you were to say to me, name 2 heavy metal bands, if you went to anywhere
Real
in the
fucking
world,
talk. It'd be like Iron
Iron
Maiden.
Maiden and Black Sabbath, or Iron Maiden and Judas Priest.
Absolutely.
I mean, they just sort of like they're like the template of what a heavy metal band is supposed to be. So I don't get it. I don't really get it.
It feels really crazy, right? You're just kind of like, really?
Really?
That.
And again, I'm not even. I have voted for Judas Priest in the past, and I'm not a fan just because I'm like, come on, Judas Priest.
All of the people who scream every year, especially like, these people aren't rock and roll. How are they? And then when the rock and roll people are on there, you're like, well, maybe next year.
No, but the people screaming aren't the ones who vote. The people screaming are the people screaming for no good reason.
I would love to see the tally of how close they got. Did they get close? You know what I mean? It's like, because that's a head scratcher for me. That was honestly when it was announced and you and I talked about it, in my head, I was like, okay, well, they've got a slot. So who else is going to fit it? Because clearly Iron Maiden's going to get in there. But okay, it's always a surprise. Listen, I'm very happy for the people that got in.
I'm very happy, and it's very
a great list. And the big $100 million question is, will Kate Bush show up to get?
She has said she would. She has said she would. This is, according from everything I've read and had conversations, this is a myth that she won't get on a plane.
Right.
She has performed it. She is not afraid to well, I mean, she probably feels the same way about flying that anybody feels.
Well, no, because here's the thing.
She's been here. She's performed here.
No, she's never performed here.
Yes, she has.
No.
Okay.
Where? She's
performed. She did perform somewhere in the United States.
You need to find that, because I'm telling you, the myth is Kate Bush has only performed that UK tour in 79, and then in 2014 when she came back and did her Before the Dawns. There's no, like, she's come here to do press, but there's never been a performance in America.
I'm looking right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep going.
Yeah. So, that's the thing.
She's done date. She is not. All right. She said, all right. I had heard that she did. All right. So she'll come here. Her first show allegedly was rejected by Coachella in 2017.
What?
Yeah.
That can't be real. Let me just tell you something. If Kate Bush told anybody, hey, I want to perform, I think they would make heaven and earth stop.
Coachella doesn't think, this is an old article, Coachella doesn't think much of Kate Bush as a New Yorker profile on Festival curator and Golden Voice CEO Paul Tollett reveals he turned down the chance to book her first U.S. performance ever because, quote, nobody is going to understand it. But that's not a music guy. That's a businessman who owns a festival. And
right.
He's like a trumper too.
He's a
yeah, no, right. He is. I mean, this is a while back. But what I'm saying, this is not somebody from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame who knows music. This is like a guy who said, "Oh, Coachella, that sounds cool. Is it like a purse?"
And then to be like, her first U.S. performance ever. You know what? Nobody would be interested in that.
Yeah, she's some old lady.
Yeah.
No, I think. Listen, if she comes, that'll be icing on the cake. And I don't know the woman. I know people who do know the woman, and this myth that she's like, no.
No, she's got some whole life with her family.
But this whole thing of like, oh, I don't want it. You can't. Yeah. She's not Johnny Lydon turning it down. She's just
Listen,
she was a 6-hour plane ride, right?
And she was thrilled when Running Up That Hill came out.
She was thrilled with that.
She made a statement and she was thrilled. No. So I absolutely believe that she's going to get. And let me just tell you something. It would be even fiercer because she's still in great vocal form. And she was like, and I will actually perform. That would be amazing.
I see no, I mean, look, what do I know? But I mean, I see no reason. She has never said anything to indicate that it's not like a Todd Rundgren thing where it's like, not only am I not going to do it, but I'm going to perform down the street at the Chucky's.
You know that's my favorite thing.
No, it's the greatest thing
You
ever.
know that's my favorite thing.
It really is the greatest thing.
It's like, I'm
ever.
not available. Why aren't you available? Because I'm playing 10 minutes up.
I'm playing 10 minutes away. Yeah, I'm in the same zip code. It's like when they have a manhunt for somebody and it turns out that he's in his mother-in-law's house.
That actually is the most rock and roll thing.
No, it's
ever.
The most ever.
It's the best. It's like, not only am I not showing up, bitch, I'll be down the road.
And it'll be on a Jumbotron. No, that is genius. That is an absolute genius move. I don't get a sense that she is that prickly as he is. And it would be great. And if they were smart, whoever puts it together, they would have Big Boy come out and introduce her because he's a massive man. Oh, look, the people who could perform a tribute to her, the list is endless.
I mean
the list is endless.
Less.
I mean, it's like, let's go Florence and the Machine. Let's go FKA Twigs. Let's go every female artist that is not going in, down the lane. No, it's going to be great. And Willie, hopefully, I mean, he performed in LA this weekend, right? He performed at the show. Mm-hmm. So hopefully he will be able to do that. And Rage can play. I mean,
Cheryl can play. The Spinners, I believe, they still tour
most
around.
Of them around, right?
Well, I believe so. Mm-hmm.
Missy will tear the house down and will show up. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the thing about hip-hop
with a full
artists,
beat and an outfit.
The whole thing. I mean, it'll be like she'll reproduce every single. No, I think that who else is?
That's a big one for female hip hop. Especially
women,
because like Missy's such an amazing, more than an artist, a producer, right?
Well, so she's a producer and a songwriter.
Yeah,
she's
it's a really big deal.
Woman rap artist to be in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. No, because women do a lot. Listen, I can hear the grumbling about that too, but sometimes I just think that you can't argue with the woman's artistry. You can't argue with any of these people. Were they the first? No one is claiming that these people are the first. But she has made a huge impact, and that music still sounds fresh. I was listening to some songs last night, and I'm like, and she's a great show person. I mean, you've seen her. She stole the Super Bowl out from Katy Perry, which is not a difficult thing to steal anything out from Katy Perry, but she stole that. She was one of the top performers at the Grammy 50th. She's great. Mm-hmm. She's great. I think there's a tremendous amount of goodwill surrounding her too. Mm-hmm. So I am very happy about, and I'm thrilled about Shaka. And I'm happy.
And maybe her really good friend Janet Jackson will be the one to induct her.
No. Now, as long as it's on HBO.
But she would do it for Missy. Missy's her girl. No, Missy's her girl. They are really good friends.
I'm just saying, does the HBO?
Yeah, I think that's past a little. Listen, I think she came to HBO to get hers. I think she would induct Missy. Absolutely. Yeah. And she came, maybe not, because she came last year and did Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. So maybe she doesn't want to be like every year in a row.
They might say, Janet, we love you. We love you. Right. Or could you maybe take a beat?
We went from not seeing you, now you're here every year.
You know who they might bring in to perform and induct just because she is like the woman right now?
Tiana
Taylor. Yeah, Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor is like the girl right now. Mm-hmm. And she can dance. I mean, she's a great dancer too. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm just very happy all the way around. I think it's going to be a really good show. Bernie Taupin. Kudos to people writing incomprehensible lyrics for one person. I will say this though, whenever people talk about Elton John, and he's amazing, obviously, it's like Elton John and Bernie Taupin, you do know when you're singing an Elton John song, you're singing a Bernie Taupin song.
But let me just tell you something. But Bernie Taupin's lyrics, I love the Streets of Fire soundtrack. Don't even get me started. I'm like nowhere fast in those songs. Fucking, it's all coming back to me now. Motherfucking Celine Dion, Dramatics. Like Bernie Taupin, he knows how to give you cinema in lyrics. It's because it's true, right? Everybody thinks of Elton
as a songwriter
by himself.
As himself.
Right. They don't realize, the biggest hits came him and Bernie, So
Oh
good for
yeah, no,
him.
of course. Yeah. No, they are a songwriting team. The
Yes.
thing is that he's not a performer. So
Right.
often when you're not the guy, think of all the great songwriters. That's why I'm happy for Sheryl Crow too. Again, she's not my favorite artist in the world, but I'm happy because she represents both sides of the coin. She's
Mhm.
also a producer, she's a songwriter. Give it up for background singers. She's I'm happy. I think it's a good list, and yay. I mean, listen, a million people could get in, a million people should get in. Not everybody's going to get in. I'm very happy. I think they Strange
This is a good
to
list.
it's a good list.
This is a good
Strange to
list.
the voters, and I'm
I
very
wish
happy about
George was
putting.
alive, you know what I mean,
Well, I'm sure
to
he
see
wishes he was
this,
alive
but
too.
this is a good list. This is a
Well,
good
maybe
list.
Andrew Ridgely will show up.
He might.
I mean,
He
there was no
absolutely.
bad blood between
No,
them,
they
right?
loved each other. They were absolutely really good friends.
And you know what? When you're acknowledging George Michael, you do have to acknowledge Wham and stop pretending like it was some fluff stuff. We
And
have to
stop
give
pretending
real
like
credit.
Andrew and like yes, George wrote the lyrics, but stop acting like Andrew didn't do the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People
he
just
didn't just stand there. No, he
real
didn't.
talk.
Yeah.
And they were absolutely good friends. So Pepsi and Shirley and Martin and listen, George
Who's
is
Martin? Who?
Shirley is married to Martin Gore.
She is?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Cheryl Pepsi Riley?
No, Cheryl Pepsi Riley
Oh.
is a black background
No, I
singer
know
from New
who.
York.
I know who. Excuse me.
George Mike.
I'm sorry. Who are you talking to?
Well, Miss Thing, you just
You said
why don't
Pepsi. You said Pepsi
and Shirley.
and I do know you, Courtney, my friend, is the man who misspells things and sends things. So I didn't know if you meant
but
Cheryl or
everybody
Shirley.
Pepsi and Shirley, they had an album too, and they had a couple of hit singles. Heartache, ha 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 ha. It's a fool's game.
I know that.
And they had Goodbye, Goodnight, Stranger.
One of their backup singers was married to Paul Weller too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Pepsi and Shirley, who are all still friends. You know.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right. Well, yay, we're happy. Met Gala, a lot of rich people wearing like crazy stuff.
Well,
but
actually,
good.
We'll come back to this Met Gala. Let's just wrap this up. And with congratulations to all of the new inductees. The ceremony's in New York in November.
Hello, Pantheon Podcast listeners. Christian Swain here to tell you more about my experience with Raycon earbuds. Our family now has 3 pairs of Raycon earbuds around the house, and my wife just grabbed a pair of the Headphone Pros to replace some headphones from a company that was double the price. And yes, she loves them. Now, if you haven't pulled the trigger on a pair of Raycons, or even if you have, but you're in the market for another pair because they're just that good, well, now is the time to check them out, because they just launched their upgraded model of the best-selling everyday earbuds. With Raycon's upgraded everyday earbuds, now you also get active noise cancellation, ergonomic design, and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once. New quick charge function, 3 customizable sound styles, plus awareness mode. Available in a variety of vibrant new colors to complement any and all skin tones. I even have a pair of earbuds in a cool green color. I have tried just about every earbud known to humankind, and these Raycons are fantastic. Seriously, if you've been wanting to check out Raycons, there truly is no better time. You're going to ask yourself why you didn't check them out sooner, and Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Go to buyraycon.com/Pantheon today to get 20% off your Raycon order, plus free shipping. That's right, you'll get 20% off and free shipping at buyraycon.com/Pantheon. buyraycon.com/Pantheon.
We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we're back.
Did we sell anything?
I'll tell you what we sold. We sold a Met Gala that was dedicated to the artistry of a very talented but mean and horrible man.
Mean. Like, really? I mean, I know we're not supposed to. I know we're supposed to judge the art, not the artist, but he was just an awful human being,
it's
right?
like, you know.
No, he was an awful human being.
He
makes John Galliano look like fucking Mahatma Gandhi,
you
right?
know, he was a tad what we would like to say
awful.
In New York, where we're both from, fucked up.
No, he was fucked up. But gorgeous clothes.
Gorgeous clothes.
Gorgeous clothes.
And if he liked you, he liked you. If not, you were probably fat or
just not a size 0. Yeah.
Or, you know.
No, he was.
Or a race that he didn't think was deserving.
Well, I will say this, though. This was the year where everybody got the memo about what the theme was. So I'll give him that. And Jared Leto needs a lot of attention, right? He just really needs. I mean, bless his heart. He came dressed as.
Well, a lot of people came as Choupette. He came.
No, but he literally came as Choupette.
So did Doja Cat. She had prosthetics on her face.
Yeah, I like that.
I love that her interview. She just kept answering the questions with meows.
I like that. No,
brilliant.
She committed. I like that.
I was like, commit to the bit. And then
I like her more and more the less I hear her sing. I think that she's kind of got a performance artist somewhere tucked deep inside.
This thing.
And I kind of like
she is completely the art.
I kind of like that. I kind of like
I love the art school freak. It's like Gaga, right? When Gaga first came, she was the art school freak.
Yeah. And Broadway. Gaga was definitely like a theater kid gone mental. No, I enjoy the fact that Doja Cat, this is the second time where she's been like, I'm just gonna do what you want. I'm here to be. No, and she looked great. And
did you like Nas X and his version of a cat?
He's just. I mean, bless his heart. All right, it's like enough already with him. He looked great. You know who looked really, really good, and I've never realized what a good-looking man he was.
Pia Zadora?
No, stop with her already. Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah, he looked great.
Our friend Tyrus pointed out what. No, he looked great. You know what it is? Because I always see
he lives in Harlem somewhere. He lives by me somewhere.
Yeah, I always see him in character. Yeah. So I've never actually. He looked great, and everybody was wearing capes because that's what Lagerfeld. Well, my Bad Bunny looked great. My continuing agita over this thing with her, who dresses like she looks like she shops at the most high price end of Mandy's. I'm sorry, she looks tacky. I won't even say her name because she's upsetting me so much. No, everybody looked really good.
For the first time, I and I don't pay attention to them, but I actually was like, I kind of like what you have on.
No, I'm talking about the after outfit. No, at the gala herself, she was kind of dressed like Lagerfeld.
I liked that look. I was like, I don't hate that, actually. I don't pay attention to you guys.
Can I just say, and look, bless her heart, I'm glad she's making a living because she comes from such humble backgrounds, and it's good to see like a young high school dropout make something of themselves. But I mean, she's a model, and I'm, you know what I mean? Like she's like. She's average pretty. You see people on the street who are just as pretty as her all the time. Do you not?
Yes. Well, listen, this is New York, right? That's because everybody's pretty in New York.
Well, yeah.
Everybody's pretty in New York.
It's like she doesn't have that thing where models, like there's a thing that they draw you in. To me, she doesn't have that thing. But either way, she looked good. He looked good. Tiana
Taylor. He's overexposed, kids. I've said this to you. No, I really feel like Bad Bunny is. Yes, he is.
Let him have his moment.
He's had his moment.
He's not going to get this again. Ugh. Keep in mind that he is a Spanish-speaking brown artist in the United States.
And he's had two albums in a row, 2 tours in a row. You have to give it a little break so people can miss you. When you're so overexposed, then the backlash comes. And I think we could have like 2 months of you just go away, record an album, go to retreat. 2 months will not destroy his career. Dua Lipa has not put out an album since 2020. We are still excited to see her when she shows up someplace because you have to give people a break. And he is just doing one thing too much.
I give him, well, then in that thing, let Lil Nas X, listen, this is the nature of celebrity. Come on, we all know it. I mean, it's like, I just can't be mad at him because I think that he is dealing with something that white artists don't have to deal with in this country. I'm just disappointed that he is dating she who will not be mentioned. I'm just disappointed in that particular choice. I'm sure she's a lovely person, But I'm just disappointed in that from his whole thing.
You
but no,
and a lot of other people, trust me, they are not happy.
A lot of Puerto Ricans too.
Oh, they're not. They're like, oh
not
no, you didn't make a stop in Calabasas.
Right. I know Love is Blind, but no, I don't. That to me is the more. But no, everybody looked great, and everybody got the memo. And Rihanna showed up at what 3 a.m. or something like that. Bless her heart. Yeah, bless her heart.
The carpet usually closes at like 8.
Yeah.
So all of those people waited. They're like, she's coming, and she showed up.
Was our dopey mayor there, or was there?
I didn't see any pictures.
I didn't see the dopey mayor.
Maybe this year he was actually someplace. You will know him. He was probably at a soca party in Brooklyn.
I was gonna say, yeah, he was at like a merengue party in Staten Island. Yeah, I didn't see him. You did see the cockroach, though, right?
Let me just tell you something. and this is gonna sum up the whole thing, and we're gonna move on. Because I've already felt like the Met Gala is just, to me, it's just become so pedestrian and dumb. And this year just showed me, okay, yeah, this is just really stupid. And then for a cockroach to show up, and I love it, everybody's screaming at Kevin Mazur. They're like, Kevin, take the picture. So Kevin's taking pictures of the roach.
He is the nicest guy, right. Kevin.
And people are yelling to the roach, what are you wearing?
Wearing to the roach, really.
And I was like, ladies and gentlemen, that sums up the New York Met Gala 2023.
No, everybody looked good, and
it was dumb. It's dumb. It's pedestrian.
But all things are dumb. Okay, all things involving celebrity dumb. Listen, it's a fundraiser. People have fun. No animals are harmed during the production of this movie. Whatever. It brings in a ton of money to the city. People get to see famous people. You know, the cockroach was hilarious, though.
The cockroach was the best.
The best thing. The only thing that would have been better was a rat, but I guess, they did figure how to keep those out. All right. The Knicks won their second game. It's great. I don't know why you're upset. You need to get
because it was really yes, but it was like barely, and my nerves were so
rough game. It was a rough game.
It was a
rough game.
It was a rough game. It was not like, ooh, this is like great.
Between you and Jody Rose, I kept going, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
I was in here screaming. Camille was on the phone with me in LA, and she was like, are you all right? Because I wasn't.
You all right?
I wasn't okay. I wasn't okay.
I had to really triage my snacks. I started out slow. No, it was a rough game, but they won. And they won with 2 people we didn't think were going to be playing. Remember, you and I were having freak out. So whatever the doctor shot into the ankles of Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, I would like some of that, please. Because clearly, once you do it, you feel no pain.
But what makes me nervous is I'm like, you see how really, even without Jimmy Butler, how close that game is. We almost lost. If Jimmy Butler comes back in, I feel like playing the way we're playing, I don't know if we can beat them in the full series.
Well, what if Jimmy Butler comes in and he's not Jimmy Butler? And by the way, hello, how cute is he? I didn't even realize.
And he likes wine. He's a wine connoisseur. He's like a wine guy.
I wine, but I do not drink wine. You know me, I can't focus on more than one. I've been focusing on my Knicks. Who is the goofy white guy that's also on the bench from the Heat with the hat, who has to stop posing with the hat up?
On the Heat?
Yeah, he's on the bench.
Yeah, I don't pay attention. I don't know who they are, sweetie.
Yeah, he's kind of cute too, but he's just another like white guy who's been No, listen, I'm taking what I can get. Meditation has taught me day at a time. It was a beautiful game. It was stressful.
And your guy White Nick is playing. He's playing well.
White Nick. But didn't we find out he wasn't white?
Oh shit! Wait. Well,
there's no way that he's. I'm sorry. I call bullshit on that. I'm sorry. As a white person, I can say these things. Everybody calm their asses down. I call bullshit on that. I'm sorry. Oh, and by the way, where was I when Kevin Love went to the Heat? Why doesn't anybody give me?
Oh God, that was a while ago.
I don't pay attention. He's a great player.
Yeah, he is a great player.
His uncle is a horrible human being, but he's a great player.
Who's his uncle?
Mike Love from the Beach Boys. You didn't know that?
What?
Yes. He's Beach Boy related.
I had no fucking idea.
Yeah. He's Mike Love. He's like if not Bill Russell. Who was the white guy that everybody thought was so great? It was into the Grateful Dead, who had scruffy beard and red hair.
Oh God, what's his name? I know him.
Bill Walton. He's like if Bill Walton actually really, really was good, as opposed to just being white. I I will say this though, the ball handling, look
Uh-huh.
at me using terms, phenomenal. I was
Yeah.
like, boom, 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 boom. They just look good. They look like a team.
Yeah, the ball handling was great until they would go throwing it and trying to get it into that
All
little
right,
hole.
but he did that too. All right, I did not know this. I now know this. John Starks has a Kia dealership in Queens, and why aren't we making pilgrimages to there?
I mean, yeah, you know, he has a bunch of businesses all around New York.
Does he work with the Knicks? Is he in the organization?
I don't know if he's in the organization, but you know, he is just our
He's
Knicks
there.
legend. Yeah, he's usually
there.
at all the big
and Carmelo was there,
games.
and I know, and Aaron Rodgers, who also not a bad looking man, but just an idiot. So he was there. A lot of, we get good celebrities too. I will say
listen,
that.
New York and LA are going to give you the best. You're going to get
really
the best.
Good. Well, Miami too, because they were bringing him up because Alonzo was there and Dwayne Wade was there.
Yeah, but they're not as good as our New York and LA.
No. And our New York celebrities actually want to be at the game.
Yeah,
Actually, when I saw Chris Rock on Sunday, and I saw Nelson George sitting next to him, so that was cool. Like, oh my God, I actually know somebody in real time who's at the game. No, can I just tell you something, and you can relate, and then we'll move on. Whenever I watch Knick games, and I see very small, usually white, but very small children, like 8 or 9, and their moms or their dads or their grandparents, and they're sitting in seats that I would literally have to kill somebody to get. I'm like, oh, what's wrong with my life? How much money must these people have? They must have really good teeth. Their parents must have paid for braces as opposed to me, who said, he doesn't need braces. Anyway, it was a great game. And then it's Saturday. No, when is the next game?
The next game is Saturday.
In Miami.
The next two are in Miami.
I was losing my shit. I was like, get off of me, cats. No cats will sit on me tonight. I was just like, but again, whatever they shot into Jalen, and that is the stuff that everybody needs to be seeking out, because they were not playing like they were injured at all. All right. Tony, you want to take Tony? I don't know. Did you see any of these plays?
The Tony Award nominations happen. The show happens in June. Some Like It Hot got the most nominations with 12. It will now be at the United Palace Theater in Washington Heights.
Oh, that place. Oh, Reverend Ike's old ministry.
Now that is also a generational thing. And you got to be of a certain age to understand, and especially in New York.
I was on his mailing list.
Especially if you say Reverend Ike and somebody immediately reacts to
the lack of money is the root of all evil. That was his thing.
Reverend Ike.
His mailing list.
How did you end up on Reverend Ike's mailing list?
I signed up for it. Hello. Like everything else. It was the 80s. I went, oh my God. It was like so insane.
First of all, I haven't heard that name in a very long time. Is he still
alive? Well, he might be dead.
I don't think he's still alive. I'm going to
Okay, but anyway, I was on Reverend Ike's mailing list, and I got a Bible tablecloth, which was basically a piece of paper with Jesus on it, which I would use. And then I got holy oil anointment gloves, which was literally a little vial with which I'm sure like Crisco, and those plastic gloves that you use to put hair dye on that come in the hair dye kit.
He died in 2009.
Yeah, Reverend Ike was the best. The lack of money is the root of all evil. He was the
Reverend Ike, honey.
All those guys, like, I will heal you, but first give me a check. No, he was the best.
His preaching is considered a form of prosperity theology.
Yeah. He was great. He probably wasn't even like a real minister. He probably was like sent away for like, how did I get on his mailing list? Courtney, how long have you known me? Of all the people you know, who do you know that would try to get on his mailing list? That would be me.
Oh my gosh, but do you know what's really crazy about the United Palace? Looking at it now, it's been refurbished and it's great. But the church, the United Church of Evangelistic Association, still owns it.
Well, there you go.
Which is fierce. They still own. And Adele has played there. Annie Lennox has played there. No, it's supposed to be a great. It is beautiful. Beautiful.
No, I've heard. All right, let's kind of WGA. They're on strike. Support unions. That's all I got to say about that. Support the writers.
Well, we support writers. I have a lot of friends who are affected by this, and I support writers. Listen. I don't want to hear from these studio heads and stuff that we have to cut costs and all of these things. And it always seems to be the people who are making stuff. But then you read what these CEOs and the head are making, and you're even firing people and you're giving them $50 million severance packages. And we're seeing how, like, the head of Live Nation, right, makes his salary is now like with stock options and salary and all this 139 million a year. It's like, I don't want to hear from you corporations that you can't pay the people who make shit when you are moving stuff all over the place. So support writers. We support writers. We support our friends on the picket line just trying to get a living wage.
Right. Aerosmith is retiring. I thought they already had, but okay.
Again, you know, you and I sometimes are really on the same page. Because I thought they had retired too. So I'm
assuming that when you're in and out of rehab, you've essentially retired.
Well, no, that doesn't mean you're retired, but I thought that they had
when
retired.
You don't they're retired and great. And
so this is a 40-track arena tour. This is the last time you can see them if you want to see them. And you know, I've actually seen them live. They're great.
I bet they are.
They're great live.
I bet they are.
You know.
I bet they are. On a more serious note, Gordon Lightfoot passed, the great Canadian singer-songwriter. And you know his song. You know what Sundown? Who Sundown was written about, right?
I know nothing.
Sundown was written about his then mistress, Kathy Smith, who was the woman that was convicted of killing John Belushi with the hot shot. She was a groupie / musician / drug dealer.
Right.
And it's about their very violent relationship. But I think about being a kid, and those are the songs that are on the radio or not time. I forget. Just very mature songs, and that's something you don't hear a lot on the radio now, is these sort of mature sort of songs. He's a great songwriter, very much a product of Canada in the best kind of way. There is a very different mentality, even though they speak the same language as us as Canadian songwriters. So rest in peace to him. What are you listening to?
The new Jessie Ware album.
Me too.
It's amazing. I've been listening to, there's a couple of new albums out that have just been in full rotation for the past couple of weeks. Everything But the Girl has not left rotation. That Feels Good from Jessie Ware. Through and Through by Baby Rose. I'm really enjoying that album. And I have to tell you, this Ellie Goulding, Higher Than Heaven is a great album, and that's been kind of in rotation since it came out a couple of weeks ago.
I'm not the first. It's really funny reading the reviews of the Jessie Ware. First off, I'm really glad, but why does no one ever mention, and this is not saying no one ever mentions Lisa Stansfield when they're writing about her. She's very much giving you that, which is great. The Brits do that better. Lisa Stansfield was more stylized and very much kind of going in that Barry White kind of group. But I'm very happy. I'm always happy when dance music is done by women who can really sing. No disrespect,
and who write. Right?
And who write.
Because then it's like you're writing real original tracks.
Right.
Like her and Ellie with these dance records.
And I just like the whole I like the whole attitude about a Jessie Ware. I like the fact that she's not a kid. I like the fact that she doesn't have a size 2. I like the fact that she's not singing fuck me. And I've heard her podcast is great.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I like that she curses like a sailor. She's kind of like
a woman.
She's kind of like a broad,
old school broad. I enjoy a broad. I enjoy that. To me is what keeps me from getting tired of Adele, is that she is, even with living in LA, when need be, you still get the feeling that she could cut you if she wanted to, which I think is a very good quality in a woman.
And on that note, you know the deal, kids. Thank you for listening to us. Remember, you can catch us every week on the Pantheon Podcast Network, where you should also follow Pantheon Podcasts on YouTube, because you can hear us there as well weekly. And, we're everywhere. So leave a rating, tell a friend, follow us on Instagram at ImmaLetYouFinish NY, follow us on Facebook at ImmaLetYouFinish, all one word, on TikTok at ImmaLetYouFinish Podcast, on Twitter at Finish Imma. And just tell us about your week, your shows, music stuff. We're always on our Facebook page, like talking to you guys, and you guys definitely have a lot of opinions.
You are not a shy retiring bunch.
You are an opinionated lot, and we love it. You are
not a shy I have gotten to know lots of Courtney's friends, and they're sassy pants. And Courtney's like, who are these weird women? And I'm like, those are my friends. So
I love it. We love it. And
we have a sassy, smart, and crowd. Thank you.
We got a lot of guests coming up for June. Woo! We got good stuff, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys. Go, Nick.
It's NFL draft season, and that means it's time to start thinking about fantasy football. FantasyPoints.com features industry-leading experts and prognosticators using proprietary hand-charted data to help you score more fantasy points. FantasyPoints.com is the place to go for whatever kind of fantasy football you play. Whether you play fantasy football, daily fantasy sports, or do a little bit of everything, Fantasy Points has the meticulously researched content to guide you to victory. And why wait for the fall? Fantasy Points also covers the new spring football league, the UFL. Join the guru, John Hansen, Scott Barrett, Joe Dolan, and other massive names in the fantasy football universe with an exclusive offer. Use code Pantheon for 15% off any Fantasy Points package, including the all-in package, with access to every article, tool, and data nugget that Fantasy Points has to offer. That's FantasyPoints.com and code Pantheon for 15% off at Fantasy Points. FantasyPoints.com, code Pantheon. Score more fantasy points.